Welcome back, guys. Are you watching this on a phone? If you are, the phone you have in your hand has gone through a lot of testing to make sure it's safe and that it's not going to hurt you. Sometimes though, mistakes do happen. Really serious mistakes. Let's take a look at some of those, shall we? My name is Danny Berg and this is the top 10 phones that are seriously dangerous. We're going to start off at number 10 now with a phone I'm sure you've all heard of, the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Unfortunately, it's probably well known because when it was released in 2016, it kept catching fire a lot. There were stories all over the news about it. At one point it got so bad that airlines were actually banning people from taking this specific phone onto planes in case it caught fire mid-flight. Samsung had to do a mass recall of the phone and launch an investigation to determine the cause of it. Turns out it was the batteries. They were overheating and catching fire. They released safer battery replacements, but then they caught fire too. Oh dear, Samsung. Oh dear. Next up at number 9 now, we have the Motorola Bravo. The FCC in the US tracks radiation levels in phones to see how much of it is absorbed by a person when they use it. They set a limit of 1.6 watts per kilogram of radiation. A phone is considered dangerous after that point. The Motorola Bravo sits at 1.59. That's right, if it was just 0.01 more watts per kilogram, it would be deemed dangerous to humans and start to pose a risk of causing brain cancer. I don't think being 0.01 under makes it any more comforting. At number 8 now, we have the gun phone. This phone is more of a gun than a phone, but it's too good to miss off this list. I have to show it to you guys. A Minnesota company has invented a handgun that looks just like a smartphone. It's called the Ideal Conceal. On the surface, it looks just like any other phone you're familiar with, but unfold it and you'll find a .380 caliber pistol. One click and it's ready to fire. The creator, Kurt Kjellberg, said the idea came to him after he attracted attention for carrying a concealed weapon in a restaurant. He wanted to make something that wouldn't stand out in the crowd. The invention has drawn security concerns though, and he was even contacted by the US government so they could figure out how to spot it during airport screenings. Next up at number 7, we have the Nokia 3310. Back in 2003, stories emerged of Nokia 3310s exploding. Now, before everyone jumps to this classic phone's defense, it turns out it was due to counterfeit batteries. Some of you guys may be too young to remember this, but the Nokia 3310 had replaceable batteries. Some customers got their hands on cheap fake ones from unauthorized suppliers. Nokia referred to these suppliers as a very sophisticated enemy. I'd say that's a fair statement if someone is responsible for making your phones blow up. At the number 6 spot now, we're going to take a quick look at iPhone cases. The iPhone 6, 6S and 7 are by no means dangerous. I've not heard any horror stories of them. However, I'm not sure I can say the same about all of their cases. In August 2017, Apple issued a worldwide recall of their liquid glitter cases after reports of the glitter liquid leaking out and causing skin irritations, blisters, or even burns. This news came after 19 cases of people getting chemical burns from the cases in the US alone. Alright, next up at number 5 now, we have the Motorola Droid 2. In 2010, a story emerged of a man from Texas whose Motorola Droid 2 phone blew up in his ear. David Cronenberg said that he'd had the phone for just 2 days when it exploded as he got into his car. He said, "I heard a pop. I didn't feel any pain initially. I pulled the phone down. I felt something dripping. I realized that it was probably blood." Yeah, this story is quite intense. David then went back to his house and in his bathroom mirror he saw the damage the phone had caused his ear. Now I couldn't find the exact reason this happened, but this phone only had a slightly lower radiation level than the one we talked about earlier on in this video, so maybe that had something to do with it. And coming in at the number 4 spot now, we have the iPhone 4. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably own this phone and had no incidents with it whatsoever, but I put it on the list because of just one shocking incident. In November 2011, a person's iPhone 4 detonated while they were on a plane. The battery had overheated to the point where the phone was glowing, and soon smoke started pouring out of it, filling up the whole of the plane, much to the absolute horror of the passengers on board. The owner of the phone alerted one of the flight attendants, who managed to put out the phone before it set fire to anything else. Apple launched an investigation into the matter. It's not really good PR if your phone catches fire on a plane. Okay, at number 3 now we have the Nokia 1209. In 2010, a 23-year-old Indian man by the name of Gopal Gujar died after his phone exploded in his hand. There were no witnesses of the event and his body was found near his farm next to the pieces of his exploded phone. An autopsy found serious injuries to Gopal's right ear, neck and shoulders. Now it wasn't known if the blast killed him outright or if he just succumbed to his injuries later on. The Times of India said that this was probably the first incident in the whole country where a phone had exploded while not being charged. Definitely a serious issue for Nokia to address. Alright, moving on to number 2 now, we've got Motorola. Now I'm not sure about the model of the phone in this story, but we know it was a Motorola phone. On June 19th, 2007, Chinese welder Zhao Jinpeng had his Motorola phone explode near his chest. It smashed his rib cage, breaking multiple ribs. The bone fragments then pierced his heart and killed him on the spot. I am sorry guys for getting this graphic, but wow, it's crazy. His colleagues believe that it was the phone's lithium-ion battery that erupted due to the hot factory conditions that Zhao was working in. Motorola claimed that it was nothing to do with their phone and that Zhao was probably using a fake battery. Maybe, but this is also the second time the company has appeared on this list. And finally at number 1 now, we have the short circuit. On June 28, 2008, a young man from Ghana was charging his phone in bed and answered a call while it was still plugged in. That seems normal, right? I'm pretty sure most of us do this from time to time. Well, for some reason the phone actually short-circuited and electrocuted him to death. All his parents heard in the next room was a loud thud. When they rushed in, they found him unconscious on the ground with burnt fingers. The EMTs rushed him to hospital, but sadly he was pronounced dead on arrival. Very sad stuff indeed. Now, I tried my best to find the model of the phone, but I really couldn't see it anywhere. I guess the main thing to take away from this story is to not overcharge your phones as you're using them, especially if they are a little bit older. Well, hopefully with every one of these stories, phone companies are improving the safety of their phones, except for that gun one. I don't really think there's a way to make the gun one any safer. Anyway, you know, I gotta say thank you as always for watching this video. My name is Daniel Berg and I will see you all in the next one. Hey, if you like this video then you'll probably love our top 10 scary phone numbers you should never call. You'll find a lot of people in the comments of that video talking about calling them, but I still don't recommend it.